What's up everybody, Nick and Brent, Chupacabra Offroad, getting a little deja vu. Back where the race car build all started, here at American Engineering.
Yeah, a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it's been a long, wild ride. Speaking of wild rides, last time you guys probably saw this car, she was hurting. She was pretty beat up after we got rammed at Parker. So, onward and upward. Come to find out, Brent, a squirrel can actually take out a Chupacabra if it hits it right in the right spot.
Exactly, right? And they jump across the track and hit you in the back.
So Brent's done most all the heavy lifting. I just came here to shoot some video and looked like I was doing a little bit. But starting off with the front of the car, we'll get to the back. Full prep going down for our next race, which was going to be Best in the Desert, UTV Legends in Laughlin this weekend, but unfortunately, due to COVID, got canceled.
Yep. So now we're off to California for the DP4 race in Johnson Valley. So something different. Should be exciting and see how this does.
Starting off before the car broke, the only thing I noticed at Parker that we were playing with the suspension a little bit. We did lower the car and it was a little on the soft side. We let some high-speed compression out. I felt like I wanted to stiffen it back up. So we're gonna try the same ride height as Parker and we're gonna go test it and do some shakedown miles. But we went a little bit stiffer on the high-speed compression, like I said, just because it felt a little soft when we're hitting those big rolling G-outs at Parker, which is kind of more of a Parker thing, right? So it might not be so bad at this next course.
Yeah, it might. Yeah, it's a little different terrain than Parker, so I think we'll be okay.
So starting off with the front of the car, Brent, got the whole prep going down. We got some new hardware in the front. Most important, the big thing was our front differential started leaking. Yeah,
so I noticed the input seal was starting to come out and leak. So yeah, we pulled that and took it over to Sandcrafters, and they did their whole billet deal they do to it and rebuilt it. And
it's like the beefy race upgrade or something like that.
Yeah, and put better deals at interlock in it, and yeah, and better seals and everything in it. And thanks to those guys, they got it done in just a couple days for us. So did that, and then went through the steering rack. I noticed a little bit of play at Parker, so rebuilt the steering rack and got that done. And yeah, all new Heims and uniballs and hardware in the front. So we're ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, our front differential was just a stock 2017 turbo, so
yeah,
for a stock front diff, it held up pretty well.
Yeah, we got a couple of years on it, so it's we can't complain.
Yeah.
So yeah,
we do need a bigger siren though. This doesn't seem to get people's attention very much.
Yeah, we'll use this bigger horn, and I think we'll see how that works.
Moving on to the center of the car, nothing really yet, but our seat belts are basically expired now, so we ordered some new ones from PRP. Makes sense, one of our sponsors got the new PRP seats we really like, so those are going to show up tomorrow. We're going to throw those in.
Yeah, and just basic prep inside, clean it up basically, you know, change Parker pumper filter, clean that up, and inside's ready to go. So pack tool bags and go.
Yeah, so then moving on to the back of the car, that's where we had all of our drama. Starting off with our first issue at the race, we lost our secondary bolt. We didn't lose it, but it came off. So either way, it melted the outer clutch cover. We had to get a new one of those. We decided to replace the secondary with a brand new one. We had to take our helix and our spring out of our race one and put it in. Now we've got a spare, and our primary looked really good. We cleaned it all up, scuffed it up, it looked good. New clutch cover on it, and then beyond that, I mean, I think clutching we were good. We were maybe nervous, but it felt really good during the race. Yeah, and then after that little incident we had with the bolt, I mean the clutch, the belt temps were awesome. So I mean, I felt really good with that, and everything looked good. So yeah, just prep it and ready to go. Except for this time, I actually used a torque wrench. 100 foot-pounds on the primary. I watched 43 pounds on the secondary. So yep, watched them, so we're good. Moving on to the back of the car, I'll go ahead and just grab the camera, it'll be easier to see. Yeah, so we had a trailing arm go down after the crash. Basically, we had so much damage, right? We think that the Heim came out of one of the radius rods, and then from there it was broken shock, and then twisted twisted trailing arm, which you can see the front mount right here. I don't think anyone sold or made more long travel kits for UTVs than Lone Star. And we, obviously this side had to have new brake lines, new calipers.
We put all new hubs and bearings in every side. The bearings have been in there since we built the car, so we put all new bearings in it.
Couple new, so a couple brand new Super ATV Rhino 2.0 axles.
Yep, brand new axles. These axles have been really great for us. New drive studs, wheel studs for everything, and then one thing we did is put a little heat wrap on here to keep some of the heat in the engine compartment and on the stuff and on the lines, and we put some more protectors on the lines and a new shield, so just update a few more things on the car. So yeah,
one of our mud flaps I think was the casualty. Luckily we had an extra set, so
yeah,
Brent, like all new hardware, like you said. We broke one of these Heims as well when things came apart, and luckily, as bad as the car looked at Parker, I mean, there was no damage to the frame. I mean, there was no excessive damage really even to the skid plate.
No.
As soon as it came apart on us, we stopped and pulled over.
Yeah.
Inspected the fluids, everything looked great, right, Brent?
Yeah, everything's great. Yeah, first thing I always do when we come back is, you know, drop the trans fluid, make sure there's no chunks or anything in it, and everything's great. So it just this side right here had some little problems from the hit and absorbed all the energy, and now we're all good to go.
Yeah, so basically I got a couple fresh tires we're going to mount up, so we're going to have some fresh rear tires for the race. We're going to install these belts like we mentioned. We're going to go out and run it. Brent also did a new air filter in addition to doing the fluids, so just keeping everything fresh and breathing well. And like I was saying earlier, Brent, every time we race this car, we figure things out and the car gets better and better. Yeah,
we just keep evolving it, and it's exciting. And you know, the more, as you say, the faster we're going, it's great. It's exciting.
Rear bearings. I mean, this knuckle got damaged when we're rolling around 3 wheels. Obviously, new wheel bearings, but the wheel bearing on the driver's side looked pretty good after quite a few races on it.
Yeah, it was. I just decided to have everything all the same. You know, the mileage on it all the same. And yeah, the bearing looked good. So,
which is interesting because I'm doing a bearing prep on my play car at 2,000 miles. The bearings are pretty bad, so I'm going to replace those. We'll shoot another video on it. But I do think maybe the offset of the wheels probably helps prevent a lot of that. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree with that. And they actually help absorb some of it. So it could have been a lot worse. So
we think we're ready to go, guys. Car is looking really good. We're going to go do some shakedown miles. So we will catch up with you later. And we're ready to go back at it, man. We got to get back on the horse. And we were robbed of what we thought we had a really good chance to have a really good result, have a good race for us at our first Best in Desert race. But we'll be back, and excited to get back in the car this weekend. And like I said, she's running cool with the new improvements to the cooling. And man, she's looking good. So we'll catch up with you guys tomorrow out of Geyser, and see how she goes. Yeah.
So, double check the axle thing first. You can just check the box, because the box you'll be able to know just by what was on the box. But it looks to me that might be the case, but I'm not 100%. Obviously, I don't know what that guy was running that kit on, but are those radius rods sucked all the way in on all 4 points? Are all both ends?
No, we've got on the center radius box, I mean, 3/8 of an inch.
Okay. So you still got a lot of room for adjustment on those?
Yeah.
I mean, not much.
I would double check those axles for first thing.
Not much, but this is where it's straight.
Well, here's the part number on the axle. There could have been the wrong axles in the wrong box, or like you said, they could have shipped us the wrong ones.
Either that, let me know. Just let me know, and you can call me back or whatever. And
I'll log in. I can see my order history of all the part numbers. We'll double check. At least the part number's there, so it doesn't matter what the box says. Even if the box was wrong, there is that chance.
Right.
That'd be really nice if it was as simple as the wrong axles were put in the box, or I ordered the wrong ones, or there was a running change on this trailing arm that caused this. All right, so follow up from that test session out at Geyser Loop. Unfortunately, we missed the DP4 race that weekend. We realized that the issue we had couldn't have been resolved in a couple days to make it. We got on the phone, we figured out that the trailing arms that we bought, which I bought a whole replacement long travel kit from a guy out of Colorado, was in fact an older generation Lone Star trailing arm with a geometry that didn't really like the axles. The axles got spit out, and you could see they were both smoked there and only 3 laps out of Geyser Loop. So we weren't sure if we had ordered the wrong length axles as well. There's a special part number for Lone Star axles, which, you know, luckily you can kind of track your order history on Super ATV's website. But it was really about the geometry being different of this older style trailing arm, which we thought we had a newer, updated style Lone Star trailing arm. So missed a race, bummed out. We've got to buy new axles, but could have been worse. That's why we test, so we wouldn't have had those issues out at the race, because we wouldn't have lasted long anyway and spent a whole lot of money and time and effort just to get out there. So called Lone Star. Unfortunately, our trailing arm that we possess is, you know, they have to make them. It's 8 to 10 weeks on back order. We found a guy who races who has a set of spare Turbo S trailing arms. Now, the geometry is a little bit different, but we should be able to make those work with our radius rods with an updated axle. So I think that's a direction we're going to have to go, just because most of these kits, these companies that make kits, are going to the Turbo S. Obviously, it's been around since 2018, and ours is the generation before that. So we're going to track those down. We're going to see if Lone Star can maybe change our order from the older style trailing arm to the new Turbo S, and just make sure our radius rods and our axles all sync up with it. Really important that you test axle plunge, as we learned from our friends. And, you know, before this, we had no issues. Our geometry was great. The Lone Star long travel kit with those Rhino 2.0s, it was perfect. We got the plunge dialed so that when you're at full droop or you're at full bump, you're not using an axle that's too long or too short. It's really got to be close there. So once you get it dialed, you should be good. I know a lot of people have had a lot of issues, you know, CanAm and Polaris. So I'm bummed that we didn't get to go racing. I'm bummed that it's a 10-week lead time, but we did find somebody who's going to help sell us a set of these trailing arms, and we're hoping we can make them work so we can get back out on a racetrack here sooner rather than later. So that's where we're at. That's how it goes sometimes. It's a bum deal, but it is what it is. So you want to go racing. These are some of the pitfalls that happens when you're trying to find replacement parts, and you know, companies make running changes. It's just something that happens. So until next time, guys, we're gonna get this thing all dialed, get it back testing, get some more good footage, hopefully, of it running good. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting the channel. Thanks for supporting our brand. Check us out online, chupacabraoffroad.com. We'll see you next time.